I'm walking into the biggest office in Europe, perhaps the biggest office in the world. 4 acres under one roof. 4 acres filled with closely packed desks where at any time 2,000 clerks, most of them women, work, where at peak times more than 4,000 clerks deal with heaps and piles and mountains of documents. Addressing, opening, filing, counting. If you were dumped down in the middle of this vast building and couldn't take too close a look at things, you'd find it hard to guess what kind of business is run here. There's a flavour of banking about it. It could be a huge mail order business. Then again, there's an undeniable air of the civil service here. A Whitehall-like decorum, a dignified, at times indeed a massive absence of frantic concentration or vulgar haste. When I tell you that I'm in Dublin, you've got the last clue you need. I'm in the great white building at Ballsbridge, which is in the thoughts of millions of people all over the world 3 times a year. The headquarters of the greatest sweepstake a gambling world has ever known, the Irish Sweep. There are 3 sweepstakes a year, and as the draw approaches, the daily deliveries of letters here would make a depressing sight for the Anti-Gambling League. In recent draws, more than 6 million tickets at £1 a time have gone into the famous revolving drum. £18 million a year. Let's see now, what's the drill? Release the brake, press the button, and off she goes. And now, for me, a melancholy moment, because somewhere in there, if I know anything, right plumb dead in a mathematical centre, is a tiny counterfoil with the prophetic nom de plume, no such luck, and bearing the name Fyfe Robertson, one of more than 6 million others tickets in the recent Grand National Sweepstake. Let's have a look. This is going to be a sobering moment. 6 million tickets that weren't drawn. God blimey. Crammed to the very top. 6 million black reality Mondays. 6 million dead hopes. Would you like to see a handful? Well, you can't. Official eyes are watching. Here, not even dead counterfoils may be touched by an unauthorized hand. But you could have a look. You've got one in here. Look away now. Hospitals Trust Limited, the company that runs the sweeps, is still headed by the famous Joe McGrath, one-time Minister of Trade and Commerce. But the detailed running of the business is in the hands of his youngest son, Patrick. A lot of people in England, Mr. McGrath, believe that the Irish Sweepstakes an Irish government organisation, but of course it's not, it's a private company. How's the company doing?
Well, the best way I could answer that for you is to give you roughly, of course, the figures of, say, 1938, which the total proceeds were around 6 to 6.5 million, compared with the proceeds in the past year, which would run between 18 and 20 million.
I was thinking rather of the company profits as a company.
Well, it is governed entirely by a fixed percentage, which is fixed under the Act by which we operate, which runs about 2 to 2.25%.
Of the total money subscribed?
Of the total money subscribed, yes.
In every country, Mr. McGrath, you're operating on the fringes of legality, aren't you? For instance, in England, it's legal to buy a ticket but not to sell it.
That's correct, yes.
Now, what about the rest of the world?
Well, it's legal in one country in the world, and that's Ireland.
Not in any other country?
No other country in the world.
Are there any countries where you really come up against serious legal difficulties? I believe California has been gunning for the Irish Sweep recently.
Well, it has been gunning for us, yes, but...
How can you explain that?
Somebody has decided that lotteries are a wrong thing and they don't want them, and they've decided to clamp down on it.
Has it made much difference to your business there?
Well, not to my knowledge, anyway. I haven't seen it in the figures, anyway.
Now, here's a question you maybe don't want to answer. I hope you will. You take America, for instance. You must be sending tickets in huge numbers over there, making quite a cargo. It's not a case of a bundle stuffed in a hip pocket. How do you get them over there?
Well, personally, the tickets leave here. Where they go from there, I don't know. I have somebody else. I hand them over to somebody. That's their business.
I don't know just how this organisation covers the world so thoroughly, and they won't tell you here, which is not surprising when you remember the accidental light that sometimes falls on the activities of less regimented colleagues. When American customs officers raided an Irish freighter in the small hours not long ago, they found a dozen men lowering 25 bulging bags into a small boat. The bags contained 1.5 million sweepstake tickets, which answers the critics who say that Ireland can't think big. The greatest catastrophe that could hit this organisation would be new laws making the Irish sweepstake legal in countries where for 30 years tickets have sold like hot cakes. As with prohibition in America, there's an added attraction in doing something against the law, when the law is one which most people regard as an unnecessary restriction on liberty. Soon now they'll empty this drum, and then it'll be filled just as full again with tickets in the next sweepstake, this time not on the English derby, but in the Irish derby at the Curragh. Dreams are pleasant things, and hope springs eternal. Good night.